Well, I wanted to congratulate Dragon Con for taking that step, for doing that. 'Cause a lot of people, that I went to a lot of conventions and a lot of Comic Cons, and they didn't want to have nothing to do with wrestling. So, and I also want to thank them for, giving me the opportunity to be a part of it. I first started coming to the Dragon Con Wrestling, just the event that they were having downstairs, but somebody thought highly of me, and next thing I know, I'm with the real deal, the Dragon Con people. So thank you guys very much. And I think it means a lot. Wrestling has been my life, 37, 40 years. Well, about 42 years, I think I've been involved. Still working, still involved, so God is good. So I think every opportunity that you get a chance to promote more wrestling, I think is good. We got a lot of it now. Jesus Christ. I mean, everywhere you look, it's wrestling. So it must be doing something. So that's kind of how I feel about it. And like I said, I'd like to thank Dragon Con again. I don't think they made a bad choice by involving wrestling. I think it's a good thing. And hopefully not only me, but we can get more talent to come in.
James with More on the New podcast. I have to ask this question. I'm pretty sure it's been asked numerous times. When you were general manager on SmackDown, you would often come out wrestlers who didn't toe the line or rubbed you the wrong way. You would let them know that they had to go one-on-one with the Undertaker. What was the genesis of that? How did that come about to that line, that catchphrase, and the whole story behind it?
All right. One-on-one with the Undertaker. Let's talk about that. Here's how that come about. Just me being creative and learning from Vince McMahon. I had the opportunity, God bless me, to work close to him. I don't know how I got there, but I got there. But I worked real close to him. In fact, I just went to his 80th birthday party. He invited me to this past Saturday night. I was there. One day, Vince is real. He's real strict, okay? So somebody that went out and they cut a promo on TV and they introduced somebody. But anyway, they come back and Vince was talking to him and he was telling them he wanted more energy. When you introduce somebody, God damn it, I want to hear that. I want to feel that, and that's him, you know what I mean? Yes. And so, but they didn't see me. They didn't know I was listening to that, but I heard that. And so when I went out, I had to do something with Taker that night. So when I went out to introduce Taker about the one-on-one with Taker, I remembered him saying, give me some energy on that. And I remember that's how I come up with one-on-one with the Undertaker. And as I walked back, Vince was very good. If you did something wrong, he'd stop you immediately. If you didn't do nothing wrong, he'd give you thumbs up and you keep right on walking. So he gave me thumbs up on that, and I passed right by him and we kept on walking. But that's how the Undertaker started. I'll tell you something you really would like to know, the dance. Here's how the dance started. My grandson, we bought him a walker, and we put him in this walker. We was trying to teach him how to walk. Well, every time we put him in it, this is all he would do. He would just walk down. I said, okay. So back then, we was taping SmackDown on Tuesday night, and we would air on Friday night. But I went to TV and started doing the dance because of my grandson. And when I'd go back home on Friday night and watch the show, I'd tell him, look, I'm doing your dance. And it was just between me and him. So one day I went to TV, I think maybe the week after that, maybe a couple of weeks after that. So they're playing my music and I get ready to walk out. And Vince is screaming at me, do that dance. And I'm looking around, what dance? And he starts doing it. And that's how the dance comes.
Awesome.
Trey with Daddy Mojo. How far, the show on Netflix, the one that breaks kayfabe down, I'm not a fan of the person. Kayfabe, thank you. How far out do storylines get planned from the backside?
Maybe weeks, couple of weeks at a time, but that doesn't really mean nothing because I've seen things change just like that. They've had matches in the ring, and they told one guy that he's going to win, but Vince may just look at it and change his mind. And he says, no, I don't want him to win. And he'll tell the referee on the headset, he'd tell the other guy he's not going over, tell that guy he's winning. So now everything changes right there while they're in the ring. But that's what Vince, that's what he always tests you to see if you're on your toes.
Is that as a form of punishment or just to switch things up?
That's just him. Okay, not punishment. It's just, he may have thought in his heart, in his mind, that no, I don't think I need to let him win. Let's draw this out a little bit further. Let's carry the story a little longer. So things come to him like that. You know what I mean? And so if he feels like he needs to change it, he'll change it right on the spot.
Mac Jenkins, Moana Nui podcast. With some of what we get to see on screen, we get to see the beefs, the rivalries, the relationships. One thing that I've kind of always wondered was, and I'm not asking for any names or anything like that, but are some of those on-screen beefs that we see actually those guys don't like each other? And the ones who actually don't like each other, does that cause like just issues with storylines getting carried out?
Well, sometimes, and that's true. Sometimes those beefs are really real. They're not scripted or not written. But always those are the best ones because that's real. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to act like you're that guy. You are that guy. And I'll tell you, because I've been when I first started refereeing, back in the day, back old school, that's how guys settle a lot of their beefs, or in the ring. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was in the ring with Steve, Dr. Dev Williams, and Road Warrior Hulk. God rest their souls, they're gone. And I remember Hulk, he hit Doc. And Doc looked at him and he said, "Oh, okay." And so Doc grabs me and he puts me in the corner and he says to me, "You stay right there and you don't move." And the next thing I know, those two were just beating each other down. And finally, they settled down a little bit. We got back into the match, finally got to 1, 2, 3. But after they got out of the ring, there was another room right there. And they both went in that room, locked that door, and they started beating each other up again until they got tired of whooping each other, and then they come on out of the room.
Oh, wow.
I swear, true story, man. I seen Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero. They started in the ring, but soon as they got finished, soon as they got back, they went right at it right behind stage. I saw that fight. So some of them are pretty intense. And some of the promos, a lot of times the guys say things that you can get away with it now, that you really mean. Yeah.
You were quick to speak about Hulk Hogan's passing. Got a little flack for it, but you were quick to do that.
I didn't get no flack for it.
Well, I saw some people who took a little issue with it, but
I didn't say nothing detrimental about it. Let me tell you, here's the true thing. Wednesday, the day Hulk Hogan died, I swear, I don't know how this come about, but that morning I called Jimmy Hart. And the reason I called Jimmy Hart is I think me and Mac Davis was talking on my podcast about something. And I said, well, no, we was talking about Bubba, the Little Sponge guy, and all this stuff he was saying about Hogan. I said, well, is it true, Jimmy? What is going on? And Jimmy said, well, I don't know, we don't talk about it. But anyway, so me and Jimmy had a conversation. I said to Jimmy, I said, just let Hulk know. Hey, tell him I love him, man. I wish him a speedy recovery. Get well. Jimmy said, okay, no problem, Cole. He loves you. He always want to know where the player at. And I hung up. And about 20 minutes after that, Jimmy called me back. He was dead. Now, the only thing I said is that Hogan, I know they talked about the racism. Everybody racist. I'm a racist. There are black people and white people that I don't like. But when it causes problems is when you add evil to racism. That's when it becomes a problem, when you want to destroy somebody's career or hurt somebody in a way that just because of the color of their skin. That's racism with evil. But everybody's racist, so I don't know what the big problem is. But anyway, I didn't ever have no problem with Hogan. Hogan treated me, like I was his son or something. I never will forget this. This is a true story, too. I rode on Vince's plane one night from, I forget where we were, but we landed in Love Field in Dallas. When I got off the plane, I went to Vince's limo to ride to go to the TV hotel. While I was sitting in the limo waiting on Vince, Hogan comes and gets in the car. I wasn't even expecting Hogan. Didn't know nothing about it. So by me riding in the car with Hogan and Vince, they were saying something that I know, things that I know I wasn't supposed to hear. But they were letting me know, you're okay. Because I look at this. I look at what people do that they don't have to do. that tells me I can believe you. Because like Jerry Brisco told me one time, he walked up to me, he said, Teddy Long, and I'll use foul language. He said, Teddy Long, he said, the boss loves you. Don't fuck this up. Those were his words. Okay, he didn't have to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to say one word to me. So I let him know when I went in the Hall of Fame. He's the first guy I went to. I said, Jerry, I didn't fuck this up. True story.
You wore so many hats over the years, from manager to referee, on-screen authority figure. What was the best time as far as any of those 3 stints that you've had, and what did that mean to you? You know, being in the industry still to this day, still active.
Well, I just have to give grace, give my thanks to God, man. That's all I can do. I've been able. I didn't even know what I had. Vince showed me what I had. I went to Providence, Rhode Island. That was the first time I walked out on Vince's TV. They called me back because they had a meeting and they was looking for a manager. And Sergeant Slaughter, Earl Hebner, and somebody else. I know it was Slaughter and Earl Hebner. They brought up my name and they told Vince. Well, they called me back and I went back to TV, Providence, Rhode Island. I walked out that first night on Vince's TV with D'Lo Brown. I cut this promo on Tommy Dreamer. I come back in the Gorilla. Vince McMahon looked at me. He said to me, he said, they wasted you down south. Mm-hmm. He said, they really wasted you. The next thing he said to me, he said, I can't believe I've had you right here under my nose all this time. Now, this is what that man said to me. So I always knew that I owed everything to him. So whenever he gave me something, I made sure that I gave it 100% because I couldn't let him down. Because there were people wanting me to fail, so they could tell him, well, I told you, Vince, what we tell you. Right. I know how this go. Okay, so I was just happy to pull off everything. The stuff with Vicky Guerrero that I was doing, yes. Vince wrote all that. Okay. That was his idea. The stuff with me and Taker where he kidnapped me, I'm in the coffin, yes. He wrote all that, okay? The next thing he wrote is the White Boy Challenge, the stuff that I was doing. That was all his stuff. And what I didn't understand is that what he understood is that what he knew, the way I was treated down south. Right. So why not give that to the guy that it happened to, who could play the part better than me? Right. But I knew I was playing a part. I didn't let that go to my head, even though I was having fun because I was getting back at something. But I also understood this is my job. This is what they want me to do, act up, but I won't. Now I understand this very well. Because I cut this promo, if you can remember it, Jerry Lawler was talking to me or something. I looked at him and I said, Memphis, Tennessee, Jerry Lawler, you might think you're a king to all these people here, but just to me, you're another cracker with a crown.
Yes.
Vince wrote that.
I remember that.
Those weren't my words, but he knew.